Oh, man, what is up, everybody? Happy New Year's Eve. We made it. Man, I never thought that particular expression would mean as much as it does right now, but, man, that was in doubt for quite a while. Welcome to the end of the longest year in the history of ever, so congrats to all of you making it on this cusp, this eve of 2021. I know that 2021 doesn't change anything other than maybe a mindset, but it'll at least be January tomorrow. And so with the end of the year comes the end of the year show here on the Hard Rock Lunchbox. Sometimes it's at the end of December, sometimes at the beginning of January, kind of whenever it makes the most sense to have such a show. And it's basically a countdown show, which means that my top 20, or the top 20, my brand new show on Strangerhood TV, by the way, debuts. It premieres, or there's a new episode every Thursday morning. You can check it out before. There's like a week to 2 week delay. It's not a big deal. But so it won't probably be a top 20. It'll probably be more like a top 5 to 10 because I've got so much to do. We're counting down the top 25 songs of the box from 2020. And basically I do this countdown every year because why the hell not, man? Other shows do countdowns and stuff like that, and our little countdown is just as important because it's the music that me and all you guys that listen to this show every week listen to. It's about what we do here and what we do together and stuff like that. And it's kind of interesting to just look back and see, like, what songs did we play the F out of this year. And I gotta say, this year is no different than every other year. And if you think we make it up as we go along because we make up everything else as we go along here in the box, you'd actually be wrong. It's literally the one time that we do things scientifically. Although that's not true, because when we did the Bands of the Box, the Thanksgiving Day special, we did that, and that's all science and numbers, because the program I use keeps track of every single song I play and every single time I play it. So it's really easy for me to just tabulate and formulate and put into Excel and just figure out what songs are the most played songs of the box, and I have the top 25 of them right here. But before I get to that, and I will have to get to that soon because we got to get a moving if we're going to get everything done by 2 o'clock. I would be remiss if I didn't say something about the end of the year, yet another end of yet another year. Here we are sitting in the middle of our 7th year of the Hard Rock Lunchbox, which nobody believed less than me would happen, but here we are nonetheless. And I just wanted to take a minute, not only because I feel like it's important, and it's important to me, and maybe important to somebody else, but to be fair, I'm a media whore now, and I have to fill up some time for the Strangerhood TV because the people in charge over there are crazy oppressive, and they're just demanding constant content from me. I'm like, yo, Jimmy, man, I can't this week. And he's like, I don't give a shit, DJ. It's not actually what happened. It was more like, yeah, man, whatever. But, it's all about the tone. But I do want to take a second to just say, like, what I think, because everybody obviously wants to know what I think all the time. What I think is just so important. So this stupid show that we do here, like, I've heard time and time again, because I ask, like, I don't know what the appeal of this show is, and the reality of it is, it seems like there isn't one. But what it affords everybody is this moment away from whatever else it is that we're doing. And that's true for me, too. Like, I have a hard stop at, like, 11:59 and 30 seconds on Thursday from whatever I'm working on to come down here, play some songs, talk about some stuff, all that other kind of things. And, like, it's a complete shift. It's a complete break from everything else. And people have said to me, like, yeah, that 2 hours really just sort of, it takes me away from everything that's going on. The meeting I don't want to go to, the emails I don't want to enter, the phone calls I don't want to take, or whatever else is going on. And that, I think, affords people like a nice little oasis, a nice little respite in the middle of the day. And that would be cool. But I think one of the other things that comes up all the time is the whole purpose of the musical aspect of the show is it gives me the ability to play music, new music that I've found in my travels. It gives other people a kind of an avenue to to express to me new music that they have found, and like I in turn will play it on the show and stuff like that. Like, you know, Jimmy and Mikey and lots of people send me music all the time that like I've never even heard, and it's like, hey man, I think the listeners would like this. Sometimes the listeners won't like this. Sometimes the listeners won't like it so much it's actually better. It goes all the way around till it's good again, and that's sometimes stuff we do. I mean, it's something that we do, but I want to talk about specifically about how many bands here are unsigned bands and local bands and stuff like that, and what that actually means or should mean to people. Like, this is a show, like it's a legit radio show. Bands that get played on this show get paid. I mean, yeah, it's pennies, but it's more than Spotify. And they get a talk-up usually. Like, there's a reason I'm playing a song, or we all know them, or we make fun of Dylan from Dino Skate Park for, you know, perpetually being 12 years old, or whatever, or Mikey for being in 27 different bands at a time. Like, well, we have that backstory. Like, we talk about it, and we enjoy it, and we meet new bands. And truly, one of the greatest side benefits of this gig are those messages or conversations that I have with people when they're like, dude, I love this song. I never even knew this band existed or this song existed until I heard this song. And it's like, a lot of times those are just local bands that could not have reached other people. And that connection, like, for me, that's awesome. And that is so rewarding, because as a songwriter and as a band member, when I reach a new fan like that based on somebody else's recommendation, and somebody takes a minute to listen to it and takes a minute to like it, takes another minute to comment about how good it is, like, I'm not saying it's a fan for life, but it's definitely the step in the right direction for that. And I think a lot of people lose sight of how important those things are when people talk about, like, hey, here's this new song I like. Just talking to Joey Nunn about his new side project. He is just like just spamming me with, like, you know, synth 80s new wave bands and stuff like that. And it's awesome because it's a lot of bands I never even knew existed. Right? Like, that's awesome. But, like, he's giving me that personal recommendation, and I'm going to give you that personal recommendation when the show starts up again next year. But if you talk about the smaller local indie bands that put out, like, great songs and stuff like that can't reach anyone else, like, this is it. This is really what it was going to be. This is really, like, this is it. Like, this is how you reach other people. This is how I can help you reach other people. And I think that, like, I'm not looking to pat myself on the back, mainly because I'm too fat to do it. But, like, I think that that's important, and I think it's underused. I think it's underutilized. I think it's underappreciated, and I think it's understood about what a big deal that is. Because without this format and without you good people listening to it, like, that all goes away. And maybe you don't get to hear these new songs from these new bands. Maybe these bands don't get any traction. Maybe these bands from out of state can't play here in New York or on Long Island because nobody's going to go see them because nobody's ever heard of them. Doesn't seem like such a waste? And this is just so damn easy. But I don't know, man. That's just me. But I thought it was worth bringing up and wasting roughly 9 minutes of your time doing it because I needed something for the top 10, the top 20. Because, like I said, Jimmy, slave driver over at Stranger Hit TV. Don't forget to check out the top 20 over there. That's this whole video thing that we're doing, and you can actually see with the first 20 or so minutes of the Hard Rock Lunchbox. Looks like, but, like I said, it's time for the Best of the Box 2020. That means we are countdown as F. And as much as people hate it, I'm going to play the first 5 songs in kind of like a minute each format just to get to the top 20. Otherwise, we're going to run out of time. And yes, cue the chat making fun of the host for talking too much. Yes, of course, we could have played the songs if I had just shut up. But that is just not the way we're going to do it. Do you like that way that flabs right there? Somebody's got to get to the gym. Someone needs a resolution. But for right now, it is definitely on with the countdown. And hey, what better way to start it than with song number 25? I honestly didn't think I would see this in the top 25, but here we are, on with the countdown.